Michel Platini there, the head of UEFA, Europe's football body, speaking, of course, after several FIFA officials were arrested as part of an ongoing US corruption case. Pressure mounting on Sepp Blatter, the head of FIFA, to resign. Michel Platini asking him in person this morning to do so, and he refused. Now, here with me in the studio is Dan Levy, our sports editor. Dan, you were just following that press conference with me. Michel Platini, who a day before an election that many were expecting Sepp Blatter to win easily, has asked his friend Sepp Blatter to resign.
Yeah, he said he went and met him this morning, personally, in person, asked him face-to-face to step down, and that Blatter refused. Blatter said basically it's too late. The Congress is tomorrow, the election is coming up tomorrow, of course, on Friday, and that there just wasn't time. Now, of course, we don't know if that's exactly the reason that he didn't want to step down, but that's what he said to Michel Platini, he confirming what we kind of had already heard, that they'd met earlier in the day. Blatter as well is a man who's known Platini for a long time. Platini talked quite a lot about their personal relationship, and that he was sort of saying, I'm saying this with almost tears in my eyes, that, you know, I've had to tell my friend, a man who I like as a person, that he has to step down, that it's time for him to go, that people are a bit sick of this, sick of FIFA, and that he is kind of damaging the image of FIFA, which he described as kind of the mother of the football world, the association that sits above, of course, all of the other confederations underneath it. And he said that, you know, this was a sad moment for him. Despondent and disgusted were his words about what's going on in terms of the arrests on Wednesday that we saw. And he talked about as well how in 1998, of course, at the World Cup that was held here in France, Platini, of course, a Frenchman, a former French international, very successful one as well. He said that, you know, Platini asked him, that Blatter asked Platini to become president of FIFA at the time, and that Blatter would become the general secretary instead. And that he said, look, I don't really know enough about FIFA, about how this all works, so I'm not really ready for that kind of role. And he's a man who many people thought may go on to contest the leadership of FIFA against Blatter, and he was asked about that during the press conference, and he said, look, I wasn't prepared to run against a friend of mine, and also he sort of said, look, I'm not sure how kind of alluring a position it is actually, and he kind of essentially said, I've got a pretty attractive job right now with UEFA, of course, and with the Champions League final coming up on the 6th of June, you know, he's kind of got a lot on his plate already at the moment.
Now, Michel Platini had wanted tomorrow's election to be postponed. Now it looks like it will be going ahead, and instead he's calling on European states to vote against Blatter. What happens then if they do secure the votes they need and UEFA ends up going for the other candidate, Prince Ali of Jordan?
That is not likely, it has to be said, firstly, because Blatter retains a large support nonetheless around many of the other 6 confederations. We can have a quick look at how it kind of splits those 6 confederations around the world. Basically, you've got UEFA in Europe, who have 54 votes. This is out of 209.
And he thinks that more than 45 will go against
And he said
Blatter.
exactly a minimum of 45 or 46 of UEFA's will go to Prince Ali. But then you've got the AFC there, which has about 47 votes. OFC, which is Oceania, CAF, CONMEBOL as well, which is South America, and CONCACAF, of course, the confederation led by Jeffrey Webb, the man who was arrested on Wednesday, one of the people arrested. Now, the African Confederation, CAF, has already said they will be voting, that they still support Blatter. So that is, 53 votes. The same is true of Asia. So you've already got 100 votes out of 209, which have been promised today, essentially, or, have said that they still support Blatter. So you'd expect around 100 votes to be
Not Australia, though.
Not Australia, that's true, in the Oceania region. So UEFA, even if they get the 45, 46, well, they'd still need about 25 to push this election into a second round. And that's because to win a majority in the first round, you need 2/3 of those 209 votes. And it's very unlikely that Prince Ali will get that. What he may be able to do is, as I said, get a third of the votes and push it into a second round, and then it would go into a straight shootout where you'd need just a majority, so 105 votes to win that election. But it still looks like Sepp Blatter is the big favourite, with the support of those large confederations of Asia and of Africa, and very possibly a lot more.
OK, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you.